Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. We are blessed in this state that we don't have to deal with major, massive natural disasters like hurricanes. But even the run-of-the-mill Tennessee thunderstorm can bang up your roof and cause leaks. Call Daniel Hood Roofing today. Operators are standing by to line up a free estimate on a new, good-looking, super protective roof for your home, for your family, for the curb appeal, for the value of your home. You know, a lot of reasons to call the man who's sitting here on our set. Daniel Hood and Daniel Hood Roofing. Check him out, danielhoodroofing.com. He won't brag on himself, but there's a truckload of testimonials there that you can read about the job they have done for so many East Tennesseans. All right, let's take a look here. Chuck was touching on this in the last segment. On the season, Tennessee +5 in turnover margin through 5 games, Alabama -6. That is a rarity. Now, they don't turn it over multiple times in the same game, but -6 through 6 games, you're +5. You got to keep that going next Saturday. You need that if you're going to knock off the Crimson Tide. All right, back with Daniel Hood, Marlon Walls, Justin Hamilton, Will Overstreet. Gentlemen, just very simple. What are Tennessee's advantages? What do you – and you can go this either way. You can take it. What advantages that you need to maximize against Alabama? What disadvantages do you need to minimize against Alabama? Where are you starting?
I would start off with there was a point in the game yesterday, right before the half. We're trying to go get some points. We had 3 guys wide open on 3 straight plays. And we missed the first 2, but then we end up popping, I want to say, high across the middle for us to get in field goal range. I don't think that's changing. So for me, I would say that's an advantage in our offense. We're going to always have guys open just because it's hard to line up that fast and communicate with that guy what coverage you're in. If we switched it and everybody be on the same page, I don't see that changing.
And to back up that, I don't think Alabama's secondary is where it's been over the last several years. They're down in that position. For them, yeah. They're down. I mean, they're still good, but they are down comparatively, and I think that showed up in the Texas game. Mm-hmm. You know, so I don't think they're where they usually are in that position. So I think, you know, our wide receivers, our passing game up against that secondary, I think you give UT the advantage in that situation.
Well, and Alabama hasn't really faced a quarterback at Tennessee's level, so you got to keep Hooker on the field. They haven't faced one since they played Texas when they were getting torched.
And Ewers got hurt, yeah.
Yeah, he got hurt. And when you look at what Texas A&M's quarterback did yesterday, up until that point this season, if you take out Sam Houston State, he'd thrown for 92 yards. Yeah, and so these DBs on Alabama are suspects, so you've got to get Brew McCoy, which is Hendon's best target by his QBR. I think his QBR to McCoy is 140, 102 when he's targeting McCoy. So keep them in the game, get them matched up on Alabama's corner, Arnold. It's just going to be cake all day.
I would agree, and I would add to it that a big part, I think the perimeter is one of Tennessee's strengths. I agree with everyone, but it's also an extension of the run game with their now throws, their quick screens, their perimeter throws that to win the rushing yardage that we mentioned earlier as one of those keys to winning games, that's an extension of it, even though you throw the ball, creating either one-on-one situations out there on the edge or making Alabama tackle in the open space and getting the ball out of Hendon Hooker's hands quickly. I think those all benefit Tennessee.
Disadvantages that you're trying to minimize this week. What are you worried about?
Hooker struggles in the middle of the field. If you look at his numbers over the year, his numbers outside the numbers, throwing the ball over the top, are incredible. Deep middle of the field is where he struggles. So I would expect Alabama to run some single high or something like that to force him, or not single high, but double high, to force him
funnel it in.
Trying to funnel it in. But then again, you got playmakers on the outside.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But I think the biggest weakness is obviously our secondary versus their athletes, right? And you've got some running backs, too, that can get out in the passing game for Alabama. And then also, if they miss on that first level, you haven't necessarily been great at tackling in that secondary either. And if that running back gets there, you better get him on the ground because he's a game breaker.
Well, Tennessee's run defense has been much better this year. Rodney Garter's done a tremendous job. But, Will, I know you have concerns about their run. Alabama getting any kind of lead in that second half and just pounding you with their big backs.
If I'm Alabama, my game plan is this. How do I get up 10 points on you at some point in this game, and then I'm going to take the time away, and I'm going to pound you, and make you, if I'm getting 3 yards every run on average run play, I'm doing 4 runs to get the first down. I'm going on 4th and 4th down, but I'm just going to keep pounding you. And that's what we're really going to see. Is this defensive line capable of holding up in the between the tackles? Can they stop the run game?
if Young goes. If Milroe goes, I think everybody feels better about the situation. Doesn't mean we haven't seen backup quarterbacks come out of nowhere and beat Tennessee in the past, but you feel better about the situation if it's Milroe, who the offense just didn't look the same last night. You go to more of a run offense. If it's Bryce Young, and we know the situation with Tennessee secondary, are you just bringing blitzers from all over the place? Are you rolling the dice and losing that way?
It's a double-edged sword, and here's the reason why. Bryce Young is the former Heisman Trophy winner, which means he's seen blitzes.
Yeah.
He's also seen when you sit back and play coverage against them. I think in that game, if Bryce Young goes, that is my biggest disadvantage for us because he has that experience. He's cool and calm and collected. Whenever you throw something at him, it's like he's seen it before. So my biggest thing would be is if he goes, it'll be us trying to figure out what works best. How can we get him flustered? What's the best situation against him?
Personally, if he goes, I want to see how are they using him. Are they calling their offense based on the way he normally played prior to being injured, or are they calling it with him being in the game but getting the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs, getting the ball outside on the perimeter? How are they going to use him so early on? And I know I'm the bend but don't break guy, but I want to make some calls that make them have to drive the field to see how is he going to be used today. And then from there, I think you make adjustments or you continue with your plan.
Well, and that's the one way to get him out if he's in. He just got injured.
I was gonna
He's
say.
thinking about a pro career. You get to him and you hit him hard early on, that can also get him being tentative.
But you got to get him on the ground because Texas lost that
Right.
game.
Yeah.
Because that corner came in and
He
man,
made
the play he made. I mean, he was.
He
on there.
teleported.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
It
he's
was incredible.
You could see why he won the Heisman on that play. But to me, that is a huge key. Is you've got a guy with a sprained AC joint. We don't know the level of sprain, which is going to be different. But it's the throwing shoulder. You hit him a couple times there.
Well,
Let's see how he's feeling.
We learned when we got the quarterback started getting more and more protected, told our defensive line as we played in the pros, was take your hand and you get close, you hammer his shoulder
Club it.
as he's throwing. And that'll get him down and get him thinking twice about it.
I love your tales of dirty play.
Hey,
It
real
plays into
quick,
the run
JP.
game, though. You got to stop the run to get him back
You
there
and
with
Mike
the ball.
Stoll, the two dirtiest guys I've ever.
Hey, real
Quickly.
quick, I'm concerned because he did not throw a pass that entire warm-up
Right.
session.
Yeah.
That's concerning for me.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that Saban isn't just, he wanted to go in there. Well, he may have wanted to go in there, but you didn't let him throw a single pass in warm-ups.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's going to be back. We'll see. It'd be Tennessee's luck if he's back, but we shall see. All right. When we come back, where does Tennessee rank in the SEC right now? Is anybody going to move them into the top two? Or are they waiting to see if they beat Alabama? We'll discuss that. Plus, we'll play Will They or Won't They with our VFLs, and we've still got a game to pick. That's coming up a little later here on the Sports Source.